March 7th. We're going to a farm that I just got permission to shed hunt this year. And I know there's a lot of good deer in the area. It's a really good farm just based on what I know about the neighboring farms. But let's hope this Sunday is a lot like last Sunday. What we found, geez, I don't even remember. Man, we were in the double digits last Sunday. Let's hope today is a lot like that. Well, I'm not too excited here. I actually held this property off for later in the year because I didn't think this property would be hit by anybody else, but we actually have already found a lot of footprints in here. You know, sometimes we'll be able to find some gold, even though we are doing sloppy seconds. So I was just walking up this path right here, and I think I see one. I pull up the binocs. It's definitely got the color of it. Everything beautiful. If it is one, I'm gonna be on cloud 9. It's very possible it's not, but if it is one, it's gonna be a pig, and it definitely is one. It definitely is one. I'm jacked. The day's made. Holy cow! There it is. It's not as big as I thought it was, but it's still a shed. But yeah, we just came down out of this bedding area right here. I pulled it up in the binos. I thought it looked like an antler. Definitely had the color of it, and that's a cool antler. There's a lot of mass. Obviously you can't feel it through a video, but this is a very heavy antler for how big it actually is. That is cool. I hope we can find his other side. But yeah, no surprise, he's not busting any of these tines off. That's a definite hog. That would be a good set to make an rattling set out of if we can find his other side. And we just came up on our first shed today, right here in the corner.
Ooh, something's eating it. Ooh, it's fresh.
That is fresh. Look at that. Nice find.
Look at that.
Not an obvious spot. We are still finding boot prints, but we already got 2 in the first hour, so that's a good find. Good job, Amy. It's definitely a shed. Just a really old one. Jeez Louise. So that counts. Holy cow. Instead of just laying like down in the corner like, oh.
It just broke. Yeah, but this was like sticking. Like it was laying like this because I saw that part.
Well, good find. That's a really tough find, especially in this corn. Good job. Oh, that's another one to count. I'm gonna throw that back, but I'm still putting it towards the count, towards 100. We need it. Well, whoever was in here before us missed this one. It's a good buck. No, I mean squirrels have got to them. That's a shame, but look at that pedicle. The pedicle's already chewed off. That's ridiculous. Damn squirrels. But that's another one to the count, so. This might be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I was just walking along this field edge here, and this shed is sitting here in the fence. It's definitely old. It's been chewed, so somebody had to have put this here. It's pretty cool though. Well, we're about 50 yards from where we just found that one in the fence, and we came down this top right here. Even though it's north facing, I still wanted to hit it because it looked nice, and came across this old one right here. Kind of surprising because whoever's been in here before us isn't hitting some of the good areas, so that's good. That's good news. That's good news. But good spot. Yes, yes, yes. Just found another one. And it looks like it might be the other side of that thick one we found earlier. Ooh, that's a cool looking ATL right there. Wow. That's some mass right there. I knew this top would be good. Yes. Look at how that's laying. This is definitely the second mouth getting the cheese right here. I love it. I was coming down right where Emmy's walking right now, and I could see it from a good ways back. I took my eyes off it because I didn't think it was a shed. That might be the other side of the thick one.
Oh yeah, I feel it.
It definitely looks like the other side. Yeah, that's gotta be the other side. That's a good antler. Here, I'll pull out the other side. Woo! That's cool. Right there. Definitely match set. Nice mass. Wouldn't want to take those brow tines off, but man, those would be perfect rattling antlers. Nice, tight, good mass on them. They can make some noise. It's a good buck. That is a good buck. And actually, the other side was like 100 yards on the other side of that bank right over there. So, I mean, it's not surprising at all that he came over here and dropped it. Well, I just bet Emmy 10 bucks. That's a bone, but I just bet Emmy 10 bucks. That I would. Woo! That was rough. Ouch. Fence. Well, that was the first time I got myself eating that hard on camera. Couldn't do that again if I tried. This looks like a good buck. Damn, that sucks. So I don't owe you $10 because I found a big deadhead. So
no, that does not count.
That counts. That he would have dropped the sheds for me right there. I know he would have. He would have been my friend, and he would drop both of them right there. So I don't have to pay you. You don't have to pay me. We're on a new farm now. I got Dad and Gary with me on this farm, and we backed out. This farm's dynamite. I did run cameras on a neighboring farm here. I don't have permission to hunt this, but I do have permission to shed hunt it. The only thing is that the guy was going to let me start shed hunting it after somebody else has been through here. So I know I'm getting sloppy seconds, but I also know what the other guy found, and he didn't find any of the sheds off the bucks that I was hoping to find. So this is a really good sign. Just came across an old one right here. Not even 10 minutes in. You love to see that. I saw this tip here. I thought it was a piece of grass, but it's a shed, and you can't beat that. So that's a good sign. It means it's not being looked too hard, and we're in a really sheddy area, so I'm not going to complain about that. Hope that we can find this year's version. There's a jawbone right there. This is dynamite. Wow. So I was actually walking the edge of this cornfield right here because I saw footprints, which I knew. We'd already talked to the landowner. He said that there's guys that would hit it before us, but I came across right here a needle in the haystack down in the cornfield. Gotta love that. So there we go. Just came across this shed right here out down in the pasture last year's, but it still counts. It's absolutely disgusting, but it's one more to the count, and I'm gonna take it. So as many as we can get. We got to get to 100. We just cruised 2 cornfields, could not find a shed, but we were coming up this row right here, and Gary saw this one right here, right there. That is awesome. 2 hours of driving around in cornfields, and there we go. Great way to end the day. Today's March 11th. It's about 2 o'clock right now. It's Thursday. I took work off today because we actually did a shoot with whitetail cribs, and now we're heading back down to my hometown, DeWitt, and there's a farm here that I hunted back in high school. Actually, every year I make sure I come back and shed hunt it. So I got my dad with me. We're gonna hit it today. this farm has been very inconsistent as far as the results go for sheds. 3 years ago, my girlfriend and I came out here. We only found one. Then 2 years ago, I came here and I found 14 in one day. And that same day, I actually caught a trespasser just starting to come onto the farm. That kind of told me why I only found one the year before. So then last year, I only found 3. This year, I have no idea what to expect. I just walked up on this. This is pretty interesting. I never seen anything like it. I don't know what it is. It almost looks like this deer was a deadhead from in velvet. So a lot of deer sign. Haven't found a shed yet, and even worse news is finding boot prints everywhere. Was just talking with Dad about my frustrations on how we've already have evidence that people have trespassed on this farm, and we got to the part of the farm we figured people would least likely trespass, and that's probably a big reason why we just found the first shed of the day right here under these thick briars, and just like that. An old stubby looking deer. Look at that thing. That is weird. It's got some good color to him, and he's not chewed, which is good. So we aren't walking home with nothing, but I do think that we would have walked home with more if it wasn't for whoever beat us in here. Well, just came up on number 2 right over there. Imagine that, right where the person, whoever's walking this, would not want to trespass, because it is so close to the landowner's house where they'd be able to see him from the backyard. So there's number 2. 60 yards from where I just found this one. We're definitely in the hot spot now, or at least the hot spot for what hasn't already been hit. So there's number 2. I'm pretty pumped with that. It's only a little guy, but nice and fresh. He's got his whole wax ring. Nice little 4-point. Got the son with his daddy right there. Now we need to find our other sides, along with whatever other deer in this area. Here's the 3rd one within 100 yards. Just found those 2, and there's number 3. This part of the farm's only like a quarter of the farm, and the other 3/4 of the farm is a lot better than this, but this is last year's, definitely. Most definitely that one's last year's, but regardless, that one was an obvious one. Probably dropped late last year, and it wouldn't have been hard to see that. So